Okay, Rabotai, we are, Baruch Hashem, back to Halachot Shabbat. This Kaziev, this is class Leilun Nishmat, Yaakov Ben Tamar. Everybody listen carefully because it's being recorded and all the world is going to be knowing the Leilun Nishmat today, and the class is going to be also teaching you something to take home. Now, it says Rav Yosef, it is not allowed to record sounds or songs on Shabbat in front of a tape recorder. You hear? On Shabbat, we're not allowed to write, and we're not allowed to record. If somebody owes you money, and he says, listen, remember you owe me money? How much was the number you owe me? Oh, 10,326. Oh, Yazabut, Rabba. Let me write it down quickly. Or you saw some important phone number of some big person that you need to talk to after Shabbat. Beguftori Shabbat Gufta. You want right now to write down his number. Listen, I need you after Shabbat, I'm going to call you. Can you give me your number? He's afraid to forget. Yosef, can you take a pen and write it down or no? On Shabbat, not allowed. Very good. Says Rav Yosef, this is one of the restrictions we have on Shabbat. Not allowed to cut, not allowed to write. That's why, in front of a tape recorder, you're also not allowed to record. If right now you want to record on Shabbat, recording asur, that is set up and ready for recording from before Shabbat. You're right. Everything could be rabota. When a person is eating or sleeping with his wife or is walking to the synagogue, all these things could be rabota. He's creating. So there are certain things that we're not allowed to create, certain things we are allowed to create. Which is the borderline? Which one yes, which one no? We'll learn from Mishkan, Bet HaMikdash. When we build the temple, whatever was built in the temple, we're not allowed to do for Shabbat. That's the teacher for us. So since in Mishkan, they didn't need to create children by sleeping with their wives, there was no need for that. Therefore, you're allowed to do that on Shabbat. There was no need to chew and eat to create Bet HaMikdash temple. How do you say in Russian temple? Chram. Yeah, you don't need to chew something in order to create the chram. So therefore, you're allowed to chew on Shabbat. You don't need to sleep in order to create chram. Therefore, you're allowed to sleep. Anything you needed to do in order to create chram, you're not allowed to do on Shabbat. So since they needed to write down to create this chram, you're not allowed to write on Shabbat. They needed to cook in order to create the temple, the chram, you're not allowed to cook on Shabbat. They needed to cut. That's you're not allowed to cut on Shabbat. Itagdali. Famidim. Anything that was needed for the purpose of creating the temple, the chram, we're not allowed to do on Shabbat. This is the law that we have to follow, and this, by following this, we're gonna get Olam hazeh и Olam haba. А если, дай Бог, человек это не выполняет, и Олам хазе потерял, и Олам хаба тоже потерял. Поэтому очень важно, что каждый соблюдал Шаббат 100%. Continuation. 173. Амир Джон. Meir Tzadik. It is forbidden to record sound or songs on Shabbat in front of a tape recorder that it is set up and ready for recording from before Shabbat, intending to capture the speech or song on Shabbat. It appears that this constitutes a rabbinic prohibition due to creating a sound. You hear Yosef? Shabbat, you come Kaneso. Avrom Talmasov is coming this Shabbat to the Kaneso. You come before Shabbat, you say Avrom John. Avozat bulbul beli ainara. Do асату бис что ты зашел, дорогой. Я хочу вас завтра. Тихо, никто не знает, я вот этот, есть бима, я там поставлю свой телефон, сейчас нажму рекординг, да, завтра Шамоцо Шаббат, он записал, что рабай сказал, сколько продали, что, заодно тоже, что ты спел. You tell him tomorrow, make sure you're going to sing strong, чтобы этот tape recorder записал. Before? Я в Шаббат ничего не нажимаю, рабай. I press the buttons before Shabbat. Avrom Mebio, in the Shabbat morning, Nishmat kol hai tevarech. Why. Yosef кайфует, там тейп рекордом мой записывает, Моцей Шаббат, кайф мекуним. Мункионе? It's not allowed. Yes.
Но это все не allowed. свет не включай, он же работает 24
Oh,
часа.
no. Ты включил до Shabbat.
Ну,
Now you
No, on
singing,
Shabbat, working.
the
No,
light
before
doesn't
Shabbat,
change.
before.
Whenever you are singing,
Rabbi,
the
what-
tape recording changes. You're making different notes. It's recording different notes.
So
Rabbi, what's
if you
the
know,
difference
you're not
Same
allowed
thing.
to
The
sit-
light
sit-
and the
Right.
fire.
Not allowed. If Avram Talmaso will know that he is being recorded, he's not allowed to sing right now because he knows it's being recorded.
А если он не
If
знает?
he wouldn't know, that's something else. He didn't know. What can he do? He did it b'shogeg.
Rabbi John, я хочу понять, what's the difference between light and fire?
On Shabbat, no difference.
What do you mean no difference?
That's why you're not allowed.
You open the curtains, the light coming in.
This light.
Yeah,
This
that
light, you didn't create it. This light, the electrical one, you press the button and you created that light. Creating light on
But if
Shabbat.
it's not it's not the fire, it's just the light, no?
Yeah, you're right. 100%. You know, it says, the Torah said, one person came and said, Rabbi, Ovachti Moshe Rabbeinu, elektristo budechi. Huh? So let me ask a question. What if a person right now caught somebody, he said, you didn't pay my money, I'm going to put you on an electrical chair, I'm going to press the button, tak, 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 umriosh. And he did it. Did he kill him or no?
Of course.
It says in the Torah, don't kill. Rabbi, Ovachti Moshe Rabbeinu, electrical chair budechi. The fact that Vachti Moshe Rabbeinu electrical chair nebudei means that you can kill right now on Shabbat or no?
No.
Dai boch.
Right after.
Not allowed to kill regardless, not only on Shabbat, anytime. So because it was not there during the days of Bet HaMikdash, Vachti Moshe Rabbeinu budei, doesn't mean you're allowed to use it. נכון? A person take a gun and he kills somebody on regular day because he didn't pay his money on time. He killed him. Is he criminal or no? Let's say your brother, let's say your cousin, не дай Бог убили. За чего? За какие-то 150-200 тысяч долларов? Что, демона что ли? Я тебе деньги бы сам отдал. О, Гавзан, почему ты его убил? Он убийца или нет, Йосеф? Этот демона, который его убил, убийца или нет? 100% убийца. Слышишь? Вахти Моше Рабейну пистолет будет, Рабай?
Rabbi John, он же, блядь,
Вахти Моше Рабейну пистолет не будет, я его не убил.
как еврею выгодно, он так и
You understand?
Свет был.
So that's why,
Это ты про меня сейчас, я еврей, да?
Yosef,
Oh,
скоро Раба Овадия Йосеф Мешет, Гошкунет. The fact that it was not back in the day, it doesn't mean that the restrictions will become allowed. Killing is not allowed, no matter which way. נכון? Same thing says halacha, turning on electricity on Shabbat. You igniting, it's either igniting fire or igniting electricity. In both cases, it is not allowed. Hamidim.
kill the Hamas member, no problem.
Yeah, this year because he
So Jewish people only kill whoever is asked to get
protecting yourself. You will be allowed to kill the person that wants to kill you first. That's what shalom. Because your life
It's important.
comes first. That's why even on Shabbat. You're allowed to drive on Shabbat? No, but if your life is at risk,
Do anything you want.
because the Jewish life is so important. You understand? Very good. Now, number 2.
Я всегда удивляюсь.
God bless you.
Brilliant mind.
This is similar to what is stated in Tractate Beitzah 23a, that it is forbidden to force perfume from a cup on garments on Yom Tov, as Rashi says. Explains, meaning to press perfume cup onto garments to infuse them with the scents, which is forbidden as it creates a nuisance, similarly creating sound on recording tape or disc on Shabbat, something that did not exist before, it is forbidden. Kazir. I say Kazir, 5 people turn, Baruch Hashem. Now listen to this. Now listen to this. On Shabbat, we're not allowed to make something that did not exist before. For example, a person right now wants to take garments and pasar nanich duchi on the garments. Ninasibah on the garments. Is he allowed or no?
Yeah.
According to our Torah, that's not allowed. If you want to put perfume on Shabbat, Kaziev, you gotta put it on your skin, not on your garments. Or Rabbi, Farchashche, skin garments. At the end of the day, have the perfume, have the cologne. Kakarazitza. Says the halacha, the perfume cologne that is going to be on your jacket, how long is going to stay? Very long time. If you have a good perfume, a cologne, it's gonna stay after a week. You're gonna take your jacket. You still have the cologne week ago. However, if you put the cologne on your skin, how long is going to stay?
Вот откуда они это определили?
Few minutes. Наша
How
Гемара.
they decided? Тогда одеколона не было. How they
First of all,
decided
don't
to
say
come
this.
out?
First of all, don't say this.
Сколько?
First of all, don't say this. According to the our Torah, одеколон еще как было? Во время Моше Рабейну еще как
Идем
было?
от Адама и Евы. Как можно столько дописывать и дописывать?
Да.
Туалетную бумагу рвать нельзя. она
No,
должна быть
no, no,
порвана.
no. Это сначала узнайте
Тогда тоже
правильно.
было, они тоже дописывали, вытирали бумагу.
Казир, сначала, что вы говорите, это неправильно. Было не бумага, а разрешение. Порвать туалетную бумагу в шаббат можно. Просто его есть путь, как сделать.
Вот, еще, вот это зачем, как? Зачем
Где?
это как?
Потому что у нас законы есть.
Ну, какие законы?
Она.
Как бумагу порвать? чтобы
Она, наша
никому
Тора,
не
полностью
надо?
законы имеет. Тора темет натан лану, барух ашер бахар бану.
Интересно будет всем.
Сейчас я тебе расскажу.
I know, I'll tell you one thing. You know, Kaziev, Gabriel,
Yes, I'm here.
listen to this. One time a person said, Rabbi, you know, I feel that this thing is wrong. Another person says, Rabbi, I feel that this thing is right. Which one of the two are right?
Both.
He feels it's bad, the other one feels it's good. I told him, you know, how many pages do we have in Torah? How many pages? Сколько там страниц? Do you know?
Нету.
How many weeks do we read the Torah? Let's put it in simple words. 54 chapters we read in the Torah. 54 chapters. Ni lini, ni pages, chapters. Week. Каждый week you're reading another portion of the Torah. Правильно? I said, listen, if everything in life depends on how do you feel about it, ты чувствуешь хорошо, правильно, сделай, ты чувствуешь неправильно, не делай. Why we need the Torah for? Why you need a book of guidance if all the guidance in your life depends on your heart feelings towards it? The Torah could have just give us one line. If you feel it's right, do it. Sure. Why we need so many books, so many pages, so many libraries? So we see the fact that we have all these дополнительные написания, еще написания. To tell you that there is no one rule in Judaism. If you feel right, it's good. If you feel bad about it, it's bad. No, there is rules that you have to guide your heart. What is right and what is wrong. You know, Muslims say that if your face, lady face showing, все, она не кошерная женщина. You have to go like this. Alabina. Muslims say. Christians say, hey, as long as you don't show your private thing here and there, you're modest. Mixed beach пойдешь, там все открыто, здесь закрыто, там закрыто, you're good, you're not naked. Which one of the two people are correct? What is modesty? This one? Или this one? Which one is modest?
Both not
This group of people will say, I'm not modest. She's not naked. On the beach, the way she walks, she's not naked.
No,
She covers here, she covers there, нормально. А этот мусульман скажет, и Аллаху Акбар, человека не ходит. Which one is the right way? Каждый человек на свой будут тянуть. This guy's gonna pull this way, that guy's gonna pull that way. That's why, Mr. Kaziev, what we need to know, we need to have God to tell us, this is not kosher, this one is extreme kosher. It's not needed like that. You're allowed to open the lady's face, you need to cover the body. How much cover the body? She has to go with a sack, like this, like a garbage sack, like they will go with a black thing, like this, sure. That's what modesty is. What is modesty? So there is rules. She has to cover up to the elbows. She has to cover the collarbones. She has to cover her hair. Face she can show. Колени she needs to cover. All these things, there is rules. Понимаем? Если женщина скажет, я чувствую, что это правильно вот так ходить. У нее мини-скорт идет она. Это правильно или нет? И не дай Бог, найти. So that's what you need to know. What is...
Тогда же они листьями закрывались.
Это было во
То
время...
же самое меню.
Да, это было во время... Да. Памятим.
It's in the microwave.
So that's why, Mr. Kaziev, a person has to strive to learn. Знаете, что это strive на русском? Strive, как на русском ему сказать? Strive to learn. Аарон, как ему сказать? Strive. Стремиться учиться. You see this? It's in Russian. See this? Library? Just this. Ask yourself, это все наша устная Тора. when would we, each one of us, один раз это все книги пройдем. Один раз. This is all our устная Torah, это наша Torah. That's why it's very important that we should, instead of wasting time arguing, это что было, это Torah. Давай книгу откроем, давай научимся. Чтобы у нас был это интерес, you understand? When you put your perspective about Torah differently, instead of sitting in a class and questioning, you'll say, wow, listen, I want to learn this book. Let's start learning that book. И время заместо потерять идет в толк. And like this you get more knowledge and more knowledge. Wow, I never knew. И так человек умнее встает по евро свое еврейство. Фамидим. Very good. Next. Therefore, on Shabbat, says halacha, you're not allowed to put perfume on your garments, but you're allowed to put perfume on your skin. Farchasher Rabbi, why is skin allowed, the garment's not allowed? Because on the garment is going to be long-term lasting. On the skin is going to be short-term lasting, because the sweat of the body is going to remove the smell of the perfume. So because it's not a long-lasting perfume, it's going to fade away. Not a problem to put on the skin on Shabbat. Fahmidim? Very good. Next. Yes.
But then it goes on the door.
Doesn't matter. But it's not your kavana.
Cheap perfume.
173.
There's a toilet, cheap perfume. Он долго не стоит. На гармент можно ставить.
We have to look. It's a good question. I don't think on garment is not going to last long. I think even on a garment it's going to last.
Longer 7 days.
Yeah.
So you're not only evening learning, or morning also learning?
No.
Вчера были 7 вчера не было так далеко?
No, были. Yeah. 172 yesterday we finished. No, in the morning we're learning Gemara. Okay, next. So says Ravadia, the same way, Meir, same way you're not allowed to put perfume in your garments, same thing you're not allowed to record a song in the tape recorder. Why? This garment had before the smell? No. Can you put it on Shabbat, that smell? Not allowed. It says the same thing, this recording had your voice on this recorded before Shabbat? No. Now you're doing it on Shabbat? Not allowed. Logika поняли? So now Yosef is going to tell you. Allowed or no, Bechor?
Ты же сделал in purpose. Это пришел, ты специально кого-то убил. Ты же по умыслу делал.
Диди, уже Йосеф, тихо, Овадия Йосеф мешал.
Если ты делал умысл завалить его.
רפואה שלמה לרחל, לאה, так ее зовут?
No, seriously.
דמתקריה, no? דמתקריה, סבטה, פנינה, בת, פרידה. אל נא רפאנה לה, אל נא רפאנה לה, אל נא רפאנה לה, רפואת הנפש, רפואת הגוף. בכלל עמך בית ישראל, אלעד אמיר ענני, אלעד אמיר ענני, אלעד אמיר ענני, וכן יהי רצון, ונאמר אמן. Okay, Rabotai, let's go next. Number 3. Although there is room to distinguish between, since creating scent involves a physical action that captures the scent in the garments and it immediately noticeable, while here the recording happens automatically and the recorded sound is not heard or noticeable unless the device is activated to play the recording, requiring a new action. It says there is a difference between this I'm pressing for the smell to go here. I hear, I'm talking, I'm singing. Nishmat kol hai tevore. I didn't actively do something. I didn't press the recording button. Это сам уже до Shabbat было. Nevertheless, says Ravad Yosef, it's still not allowed. Recording on Shabbat, mumkin. Huh?
You're singing for the pleasure show, and at the same time it's recording it.
So that's called pasik reshe denihale. Pasik reshe denihale, not allowed. Understood? Nihale, comfortable for you. Your intention is to sing.
Yeah.
By the way, it's being recorded. I don't intend for that. I intend to sing for the community.
А с камерой можно записывать?
Специально, ну?
Ну как, камера-то работает?
Специально. Пример я вам скажу. Сейчас вы зашли к колесо, да? Вы купили себе машлим with Kaddish. Right? Last time you bought it, somebody come to you and said, listen, you owe us the shul $1,000. I said, $1,000? I never bought $1,000. Okay. Whatever you remember, pay. Say you should go to the shul, we купили машлим with Kaddish. Now, you say $1,000. It says, oh, you said 505, whatever number you say. 505, you hear? 505. Now, you said this for the recording to purposely catch you, so nobody will doubt what was the price that you paid for it. No, that you pledged for that. No. Yeah. So because you purposely intended that it's going to be recording you, вот это нельзя. No, whenever you just come to the KNSO, and by the way, being recorded, it's like you're going on the street. You know, today with a satellite, they can read your plate number from the satellite in the space. You believe this?
Конечно, они могут.
Чё?
Satellite in the space can read your number at your car. Смотри, какой степень сегодня дошли. Ты книгу читаешь, здесь на парк сидишь, they can tell you what did you read on the page. It's crazy. Satellite. Can you walk on the street now?
No.
You're recording. What's the answer? My intention is not to be recorded. It's not like this guy saying 505 to the camera that they will remember the price. So it all depends on your intention. Yes.
Exceptions есть там, например, если, let's say I'm a songwriter, да, и мне в шаббат пришла музыка, а я писать не могу, как, например, записать, она же уйдет.
Нельзя.
There's no exception.
No exception. What you could do, you can ask a goy. Goy, tell him the melody, and he's going to record. So if you remember the notes. Na 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 na. Goy, say na 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 na. Okay, now go record it.
В синагоге все же евреи сидят, гоя нет.
Ну, на каждой синагоге. Если в синагоге гоя нету, синагога закроется. Всегда надо его вокруг. Рикардо это сделал. Рикардо то сделал. Он без него здесь не двигается. Следующий. Number 4. You know,
Intentionally я могу испанца попросить, да?
да, потому что он не получил Тору.
Но я же специально это сделал.
Правильно, вы
Попросил
попросили его, вещь, которая запрещена,
же.
дерабанан.
Же нельзя это делать в шаббат.
На какой уровень? У нас есть закон.
попросили,
Это если
но-
Тора запретила или нам Тор Хахамим запретили. На уровень Тора вещь, например, огонь. Я не имею права ему сказать, иди огонь зажги. Но если это вещь, которую Хахамим запретили, я не имею права сделать, но я имею право у Гоя это попросить сделать. Вот это разница между.
Level.
Понимаете? Один был человек, Азев, I'll say in English because it's on the recording. He comes, he says, you know, you start arguing with one guy about the American Constitution. Arguing, you guys doesn't make any sense. This Constitution is too primitive, was written 200 something years ago, The guy tells him, listen, tell me the truth. From your conversation, I see that you did not even read the Constitution. Did you even read the Constitution? He tells him no. How this person looks in the whole world's eyes, arguing about Constitution of America, and he never read it. Как ты бы его назвал, а? Чистый чего?
Гой.
Он гой, он не еврей, он гой.
Голь.
Он говорит, американский Constitution doesn't make any sense, too primitive, 250 years ago it was written, come on, there's so many lines that doesn't make sense.
Голь.
And then the guy that interviewing him, he says, listen, did you even read the Constitution? Он так застрял, говорит, no. How can you argue about a piece of information that you yourself did not even finish it from cover to cover? So these people sometimes say, Rabbi, наша Тора говорит то, наша Тора говорит все. Как это можно так? Слушай, ты до я весь Тору прошел? Ну, как ты можешь спорить насчет Тора, если ты сам не знаешь, что там написано? Как ты себя показываешь, выглядишь сам себя перед людьми, перед Богом, что ты говоришь, споришь, что насчет Тора, а сам не знаешь, что Тора говорит. Вся история Авраам, Ицхак, Яков, Адам Аришон, Ноах, Паро, Моше, это Ецят Мицраим, народ Израиль, Йошуа, Шофтим, все это ты это когда-то прошел. Ну, а как ты сидишь споришь? You understand? This is very awkward arguments when people did not read and argue. That's why it's very important. Каждый еврей бехор должен интерес быть весь час, устная Тора наша вот это, все вот эти книги, до я прочитаю. Когда это прочитал, у меня вопрос есть. Сейчас с тобой можно распорить на твои вопросы. А когда ты лишь бы спорить, ты должен сначала культурно научиться, потом проходить на учение, чтобы ты знал, на чего ты разговариваешь вообще. Number 4. Oh, Yosef, молодец. Based on the above written, this also does not constitute the prohibition of final touch. Okay. Number 5. No, нельзя материться перед никого. Это Бог запретил. Number 5. It is also permissible to erase the name of Hashem that appears on such a tape, as it is not considered writing at all. Now, I remember before in Israel, there was one rabbi that used to give cassette phone, cassette. Bepul used to give out with Divrei Torah. People that were not religious, they used to take this cassette and they used to record on this their music. So one guy comes to him, he says, listen, this guy right over there, Divrei Torah. You put music on top of this, you're erasing the Divrei Torah. Is he erasing Divrei Torah by recording music on it?
He's adding to it.
Huh?
He's adding.
So what Yosef says is not a problem. Why? Because when you're not allowed to erase Divrei Torah, whenever the Divrei Torah is written, here it's not written, here it is recorded. That's the point. But Rav Yosef says, for different reason, you're not allowed to record on top of this tape. Почему? Why did this guy, rabbi, give you the tape? For what? For you to use it for your tape music? Or for you to listen to Divrei Torah? Почему это тебе дал? Divrei Torah было, что ты научился что-то. А what did you do? You took his кассета, и на него что поставил? Твою музыку на это. This is not allowed, because considered to be stealing. Подумайте, Бехор, вам машину кто-то дал, человек дал вам машину, что пошел кому-то, какой-то обед кому-то передать, бедный там человек, вам машину сказал, вот обед, вот к машине, иди, подай, принеси ему. Этот человек взял Манхэттен, все Манхэттен Клаб проходил, все деньги сделал, Убер-шмубер сделал, потом пришел. Он машину вас воровал или нет по закону? Да. Он ему сказал, я тебе даю машину, чтобы эту блюдо, этому бедному человеку донес. Он сказал, хай, целую ночь пошел, крутился к Манхэттен, все деньги заработал на его машину, пришел, моя машина готова. What is that considered? 100% stealing. You're using the car that was given to you, not for the purpose it was given to you. That's the same thing is with the cassette. That the person gave you the cassette to listen to Divrei Torah, а ты взял на него, поставил другие вещи. It's also considered to be stealing. Got it? Very good.
Если он уже послушал
Okay?
и потом что?
Yeah, that's okay. Because it was already used. For the purpose it was need for, yeah. Number 6, using sacred names on Shabbat and creating a human with a Sefer Yetzirah is biblically liable under the category of building. Biblically. Up. Biblically. Under the category of building, there is building prohibition in human being as written in Masechet Shabbat. Prohibition. Один раз на иврите, один раз на русский. Prohibition. In human being as written of sins, even though no physical action was done, only speech. It can be said that there is no form of building in this, since there is no other way to create human. The articulation of the mouth is considered an action, and one is biblically liable. You have a person created somebody with Sefer Yetzirah. Did he break the rules or no? What do we say?
No.
Says Rav Yosef, yes, is considered to be building. And building on Shabbat, not allowed. Строить Shabbat нельзя. The person Bechor right now, his wife told him, Yushvoi bovom, make sure before Yushvoi you're going to hang his picture. Все сидят будут. He forgot. Shabbat came, все наскрыли на стол, и picture еще поставил, и не повесил. Shabbat, can you take a nail and a hammer, tak, put it on the wall and put the picture.
Если гвоздик уже есть, повесить можно.
Нету.
Нету, надо забить.
Can you build this on this гвоздик? Он же ни дом не строит, только один гвоздик поставил.
Скачет тейп.
Scotch tape not allowed. That's halakha. Bechor knows. Ask
Oh
Bechor.
my god.
Надо на
Consider it a big building.
поставить на стульчик.
Надо Халипа позвать, и он придет.
А, молодец, иди.
Дорогой.
Короче, вам говорят, шаббат
Я вам
отдыхать,
говорю, ничего делать не надо, а дома сидеть будешь
На
самый
женщине она тоже
кошерный.
отражается. Какая жена все делает?
Ну, я в шаббат кайфую. Есть много чего я делаю, но не нарушаю. Надо знать человеку, как правильно себя вести, и не нарушать, кайфовать шаббат без нарушения. Next, number 7. There is no formation of letters in our case to be liable for writing. And even the groove made in the photograph record after recording.
It's phonograph.
Phonograph. Что это phonograph? Like photograph, no?
Фото это фото.
А фоно?
Звук записывает.
Phonograph. It's not a result of sound waves created by speech, but it is made by the friction of the machine, making one not liable. A proof to this is even when there is a long silence during speeches and music, there are still marks on these grooves. Yeah? So it's not considered to be, he says, a problem of formation of the letters. Это он хочет подчеркивать. Overall, this is not considered creating an impression. As the Rambam wrote, that an impression liable for writing is creating marks and shapes in a manner that painters make, I would say, right? You mark, make. In our case, the grooves are not at all in the manner of painters. Yeah, that's why it's not considered to be creating an impression. Remember, back in the day, it was пластмассы, вот такие были большие диски. Remember those ones? Oh, ancient ones, 1960s, 1970s.
Круглые были.
Круглые такие диски.
Черные.
I don't know how you call it.
Черные.
Бобину, я говорю.
Бобиновые?
Ну, катушки их называют.
Катушки, да, катушки.
Вот
Катушки?
такие вот, да? Они с двух сторон так работали, да?
Большой такой пластмасс. Пластинка
Это
такая.
пластинка.
Пластинка,
пластинка, это...
Circle такой большой.
Вайнал.
Yeah, they used to put it and the needle used to...
Да, вайнал.
Remember that?
Пластинка.
Now,
Винил это называется.
now question.
Виниловый диск.
Question. Whenever you were talking on Shabbat, or whenever it is, it's being scratching that plastinka, and it makes the sound waves when you're going to put the needle later on, it's going to recognize it, your wave, sound wave is being recorded there. Is it considered to be that you're drawing? Because when you're speaking, this scratching it in a certain way. And drawing on Shabbat, it's like writing. Writing more on Shabbat. No. Drawing is also not allowed. So whenever you are talking and this is being recording, maybe you consider to be writing. Says Ravadia, no. Why? It says when he's making impression. A problem? Torka, whenever it is, looks like a professional painter. This one doesn't make like a professional painter.
Ну, ты меня не понял.
Speaking on the phone on Shabbat was
Только звукозаписи некоторые люди делают.
permitted. Speaking into phonograph is not prohibited under the category of drawing lines, since the prohibition only applies to straightening writing on Shabbat on paper. Therefore, it is measured in writing of 2 letters. Okay. Yalla, Rabbi, so let's do a little bit of. It's last line. Hazon Ovadia wrote that since the entire action of scratching is done by a recordings of discs with one's voice, it is considered indirect causation, and therefore, in cases of great need, it is permissible to be lenient. Here, this is a big chidush.
You just said no, and now it's okay.
Let's see how did he finish?
Я бы не пропускал, но меня посадят за это.
ולכן במקום צורך גדול יש להקל. שום מסרטט, אין איסור אלא שוב הכתב שבניח, ולכן שיעור בכדי... So when it's considered to be, whenever you want to write something and you're going like this, making lines. раньше не было, как у нас сегодня, готовы. People like to make it. I don't know how you call it. Making a groove. It says when you're talking and this thing recording and it's scratching the surface, why is it not considered to be making a groove? It says, when the problem of scratching and making a groove a problem? Only whenever you want to write. Here you're not writing. Here you are just talking. So it's not considered to be making a groove on Shabbat. And therefore he says the only problem would be creating something new, but not writing, not engraving, not making impression. All these problems does not apply over here. Fahmidim? Very good. We got to page 179. We'll continue the next time. Now we're going to do